Gone but never forgotten Big Germ. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to your Saskatchewan Stags. In this episode, we are going to be getting a bunch of simulation done. We're also going to potentially make a trade, but let's talk about the big trade that happened last episode. Obviously, we moved out our two-time Stanley Cup champion, two-time Vezina winning goalie, Big Germ. Now, that's all because we have a new kid in town, and that is Mount Rushmore. There he is, all 6'5", starting goalie. He's 3-1, 2 shutouts since becoming the legitimate starting goalie for your Saskatchewan Stags. We ended up getting Malcolm Subban for a backup, but I think there was people in the comments that agreed with me that it was a good trade. We obviously got a huge piece back, which is Jake DeBoer. Now, I think we're going to call him Jake DeScore. I don't know. I mean, maybe we can't give him that name yet because he doesn't have a goal or an assist yet, but maybe once he starts to turn it on, become a top 6 player for us, maybe we can insert that name, Jake DeScore. But there was also some people saying, oh, it wasn't a realistic trade because they already had a goalie, blah, 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 blah. But you think of it from the Toronto side, they finished last in the NHL. For a market like Toronto to finish last, that is like pressing the panic button, press the nuke button, all hell is about to break loose. You need to do whatever it takes to get back into the playoffs to be a competitive team, especially in a market like Toronto. You really can't afford to be the last place team. The fans are ruthless and they had to make a big move. At the end of the day, it did make sense. They made a huge move. Maybe it was their goaltending was shaky last year. They ended up getting rid of a 36-year-old's aging starting goalie. So I guess it does technically make sense, but I can see why people would say it wasn't a quote-unquote realistic trade. But I think every team got what they needed. We got ourselves a stud player for the future. I mean, as soon as next year. And you got to think about what we're going to do with Jake DeBoer, aka Jake DeScore. We got Mikey says trade Kyle Connor and play DeBoer on the second line wing to save some cap for next year. This is going to be a next year problem. I mean, the first 5 years of this franchise mode, we're just kind of getting our feet wet. We're just getting in there, getting our footprint in the NHL, and then all of a sudden we had all these issues. We had the Big Germ issue, we had the trade out Braden Shen, we had all these things, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon because Jake DeBoer is eventually going to be ready for the second line minutes. Now, Kyle Connor is making a boatload of money, however, it is only for 1 more year. So you have to think, if Jake DeBoer really turns it on and he becomes an absolute stud, he's ripping it up, he's listed as a second liner, maybe by the trade deadline or maybe even at the draft, we could think about moving Kyle Connor. Now, this whole line is kind of struggling a little bit throughout the first 4 games, but I'm not going to press the panic button yet. It's only 4 games. But we do have an issue, and that being we have some players scratched that probably shouldn't be scratched. And that means in the American Hockey League, we have a guy who I'm super high on, and that is Jesper Franzen. Now, some of you might forget he was a top 10 pick in 2024. He is definitely NHL ready, so he has to play in the NHL. There's no two ways about it. A guy like Fiddler is the guy who I'm not super high on. He's 22 years old. He's a grinder. He would be a guy that I would love to have on the 4th line, or I would love to have him as an option for the playoffs if we have any injuries. But we got some comments to go over. Ryan, he says trade Huxley and then move Norm Clarkson to the 3rd line center. Also call up Franzen. Huxley has been kind of a bust. I agree with you. I was hoping that Huxley would kind of maybe grow a little bit more. He was 84 when we traded for him. He's dropped to 82, and then now he's back up to 83. So maybe it's not working out. Maybe trading Huxley would be the best option. So we trade Huxley, and then that means we can bring up Norm Clarkson, and then we can have a 4th liner that is Jesper Franzen, and then we can go Jake DeBoer, Norm Clarkson, but he's listed as a 4th liner. But he does put up points. We have seen this guy put up numbers. He had 41 points on the 4th line, and in the playoffs he had 12 points in 26 games. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And then there was a lot of comments telling me to trade Cirelli. Now, I really don't want to trade Anthony Cirelli. Anthony Cirelli has been the GOAT for us. He's been here since, I think he was one of our first big trades. He's been a consistent 35-plus point point guy playing bottom 6 minutes. I really don't want to trade Anthony Cirelli. He's one of my favorite Stags. I can definitely see the reason why people want me to trade him, but the assistant coach, he breaks down the comment. He talks to all the assistant GMs, and he breaks it down. Brandon Barenfeld. He says, if you want to play Franzen and or Fiddler, which I'm kind of leaning more towards just Franzen, then the guys that would have to be headed out would be Anthony Cirelli and or the big kid from Edmonton. Norm Clarkson is proving himself to be a mainstay because he's growing. I'm very concerned about the big kid. He's only 23 and still lingering between 80 and 81 overall. At this point, he might not grow, so it would be best to trade him while he still has some value. Fiddler is looking like someone who will grow as well as Franzen, so personally, the fourth line should be Fiddler, Clarkson, and Franzen. Cirelli and the big kid from Edmonton may have to be on the way out, which sucks because he's off to a good start. He has 4 points in 5 games. Either that or Fiddler will have to be traded, but unfortunately, I do think Cirelli will have to go regardless as you try to usher in a new group of young depth players. I agree with you, but I also don't agree with you. I think Huxley should be the one to go. I mean, we traded for him. We were really high on him. I was hoping he would grow into that second line center. He's only 23 years old, so it's taken a risk getting rid of him. He has the most trade value out of everyone that I would try to get rid of. I do like this third line of Jake DeBoer, Norm Clarkson, and Afinasenkov. I really do. Maybe that can be something, and then we can move... and then we can just move Huxley for maybe a first even. He actually has a decent amount of trade value. Or we could move Cirelli and put Huxley here, but it doesn't really make sense, so I'd rather hang on to Cirelli. Plus, Anthony Cirelli is on the thumbnail. I can't get rid of him. So you can see Huxley actually has a good amount of trade value. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of him for as much as we can. We don't have to replace him with a roster player, so I'm feeling pretty confident that we can just get rid of him for like a first or something, and then we can kind of just make it work. But I would like to trade him to a team that needs a center. I don't want to trade him to a team that's super stacked down the middle. Like, obviously I would never send him to Detroit because I don't want to put him with a stinky player like Nika Solani, but their center depth is just ridiculous, so it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. A lot of teams have a lot of center depth. Holy. Alright, so now we can do the comparison between Quinton Byfield and Cole Perfetti. Now, has Quinton Byfield been a point-per-game player? No, he has not. You know who has been a point-per-game player? Cole Perfetti, baby! We definitely made the right choice there, taking him before Quinton Byfield, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. Alright, so I think we're going to send Huxley to the Ottawa Senators. I'm really trying to find a team that needs a center, but there's so many teams that have like 4 or 5, 86, 87 overall centers. So I guess it makes the most sense for him to go to Ottawa. Maybe they'll play him on the wing, on the second line. How are their wing situation looking like? It looks pretty good. Right wingers. Maybe they could play him as a winger, actually. So, I don't know. We'll keep a close eye on this, but I'm going to see if I can get a first from the Ottawa Senators in exchange for Huxley. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. However, he does have a Stanley Cup ring, so that adds some value. Huxley for a first. Will this trade go through? Trade rejected. Oh, they have to put a player on waivers. Okay, so what if I took a player back? Does that fix it? I never understood how this works. What if I took a player back, like Charles Hudon, who I really don't care about? Will that go through? Trade rejected. They're still going to have to put a player on waivers. What about if I gave them another player? How does this work? This guy's like 27 years old, whatever. Will this go through? Still have to put a player on waivers, hey? That's annoying. I hate that. Will this go through? Yeah, still have to put a player on waivers. Alright, so Huxley is going to have to play the wing, or Arizona's going to have to figure out what they're going to do with him, because every team has like 4 or 5, 85, 86 overall centers. It's getting kind of annoying at this point. So we're just going to try to get a first in exchange for Huxley. Arizona could definitely use some help on the wings. I mean, they're pretty good there with Coral Uke and Agent C, but they have a lot of centers. So will this go through? A first for Huxley, straight up 1-for-1. I just want to get this thing done. We've been wasting way too much time already. They have our third as well, which is interesting, but it looks pretty even. They want to get rid of the first. Will this go through? There you go. Perfect. Fiddler, we'll call him up. However, we're going to have to send him back down, and we are going to call up, where is he? Franzen. Welcome to the squad. All right, so that's exactly how I want it. Defense is all good to go. Let's get this thing started. All right, let's start the simulation off. Let's get this thing going. Where are the games against the Wings? That's what I want to know. Okay, we got one next next month. That's going to be one we got to circle on our calendar for sure. I think it's time for DeBoer to get on the score sheet, though. I moved him to the power play. I want to give him the best opportunity to succeed, as well as Franzen. Welcome to the squad, buddy. Welcome to the show. Let's see how these guys are going to do. Let's go. Period number 1, and it's 1-1. Justin Falk and Sergachev. Period number 2. We started our backup. All right, Oscar Lindbaum scores on Malcolm Subban. We've really rotated the backups. We've had so many different backups throughout this entire franchise mode. We haven't really had that like Aaron Dell kind of backup who just sticks around every single year and it just is like consistently pretty solid. However, we are going to lose this game, it looks like, 2-1. Yikes. DeBoer still looking for his first goal. Still looking for his first point, maybe. Now, I'm just looking here, and Arizona is 0-5-1. So maybe that first that we got from the Coyotes for Huxley could be potentially a lottery pick. However, we're only like the first 2 weeks in, so I'm not gonna go crazy quite yet. But let's see where they're playing Huxley. I'm assuming they're just gonna throw him on the wing because their centers were pretty good. Because you can see here, every team kind of has 3 really good centers. So it kind of seems like they're gonna have to use him on the wing. Like there's no way he was gonna fit on any team. Ottawa kind of worked, but they had to put a player on waivers, so it was kind of just is what it is. But let's see what Arizona's gonna do with Huxley. Now, where is Huxley? Okay, who are you guys just... Is there some visa issues, maybe? Going from a Canadian team to an American team? Is he not quite there yet? Why are you not playing him? Don't tell me you put him in the minors. Do not tell me you threw him in the minors. Why would you not play him like where Kyle Palmieri is? Oh my god. Did they seriously chuck him in the minors? Is this a joke? Oh, poor Huxley. The guy goes from being a Stanley Cup champion to being thrown in the minors? I mean, maybe they traded him? I don't know. We'll have to have a look. This is something I really, really hope gets fixed for NHL 20, and they are playing him in the minors. Oh my god. The poor guy. The poor guy playing in the American Hockey League. Oh god, I'm sorry, Huxley, if the AI wasn't so stupid. Alright, well, you hate to see it. All right, the 0-5-1 Arizona Coyotes. Maybe if you called up a Stanley Cup champion like Aiden Huxley, maybe you could get a couple of wins here. But let's go, boys. First period, 0-0. Period number 2. All right, 2-0. Mahalik and Justin Falk, the back end, getting goals left and right. That's a shutout for either Malcolm Subban or Russ Delmore, but still no goals from DeBoer, still nothing. So there hasn't been a video for a couple days, and the NHL 20 beta is to blame for that. I've been grinding some NHL 20. I'm actually so excited to share with you all of the franchise stuff that's coming out for NHL 20. It's going to be so damn good. I can't wait. This series is not going anywhere, don't worry. I've just been grinding a lot of NHL 20 drop-ins. It's been a lot of fun. But NHL 20 is going to be a blast for the franchise mode. I seriously cannot wait to share with you guys some of the stuff that's going to be coming out. But we're not stopping anytime soon. We're basically going to continue with the Stags all the way up until NHL 20 comes out. But we're 7-3-2 up against the Winnipeg Jets, who have a very similar record, and we double up on them, baby, 6-3. All right, so going back to the Nika Solani and Iguchi battle here. So I don't know how many games we've played, but Iguchi has 29 points and Nika Solani has 31. So if we decide to go off here, if we put up 6 or 7 goals, Iguchi can leapfrog Nika Solani and finally take the point lead. All right, let's go. Period number 1. A rivalry that is not dying anytime soon. It's very much alive. Solani versus Iguchi, and it's 4-0 after the first, baby. Chubby, Kyle Connor, Iguchi, there's point number 30, and Jake DeBoer. Is that his first? Oh boy. Alright, so we chased UC Saros. Now we're a team that loves to put up like 8 or 9 goals against the Wings. So let's go. Period number 2. Alright, 5-0, Hiroyuki. We kind of stay calm there with just the 1 goal, but there it is, Nika Solani. Oh my god, he gets 2 back-to-back. No, do not take the point lead. Come on. I really hope Aguchi, Anthony Mantha scores. So 3 goals from their first line. Nika Solani could have points on all 3 of them. We know he's got goals. There you go. Chubby gets 1, but we know he gets 2 points there. He probably had the assist with Anthony Mantha, but let's see here. So we know Aguchi at least got 1. All right, let's see how many points he got. He got 2. Okay, so he has 31 points. He's technically tied with Solani right now. However, we know Nika Solani, he probably had a big night. He had 3 points. Of course he did. He's got 34. So fortunately, we won the game. Unfortunately, Aguchi still trails by 3 points. Now, was that the first goal of Jake DeBoer's career? Was that number 1? No, actually, that was his 3rd. You can see there, 931 of the first. He gets his 3rd from Adam Boquist and Quinn Hughes. Couple of absolute beauties on the back end. Pretty decent start, 9-3-2. Up against Oscar Gormley, they're 9-5-1, but you know at the end of the year, he's getting out the old golf clubs and he's hitting up the links. A first for Brian Rust, get out of town. All right, so 10-3-2. We're starting off hot. The boys are buzzing. That's 3 straight. Can we make it 4? 7-3 win, baby. Up against the Hawks. Can we make it 5 just for fun? There's 5. Now up against the Penguins. We've beat these guys twice in the Stanley Cup final. They're looking to get their revenge. And it is going to be today 3-0 shutout loss. You hate to see it. But in less than a week, we have the return of Big Germ. Oh man, it's going to be an emotional one, that's for sure. All right, can we go 3 straight wins up against Washington? There you go. All right, so the 8-10-3 Toronto Maple Leafs. Ooh, they're struggling. We're 15-4, by the way. All right, so Big Germ, he's back. He's back, baby. The team that drafted him, the team that molded him into a 2-time Vezina Trophy winner, 2-time Stanley Cup champion. Welcome back to Saskatchewan. One day your number 1 will be in the rafters. I can promise you that. All right, let's go. Friends off the ice now. Let's score a couple on Big Germ here. Period number 1. It's 2-0. Aguchi and Boquist. Oh, man. Close friends off the ice, but enemies on the ice. Period number 2. All right, we make it 3-1. Johnny T scores 1, but Jake DeBoer, he scores on the player he was traded for. There you go. He gets 1 on Big Germ. Tyson Jost scores on Mount Rushmore. Come on. Oh, my God. Tyson Jost, he ties it up on his own. All right, we got ourselves a hockey game here. We're out shooting them, but we know how good Big Germ is. I need a Hiroyuki goal, a Chubbs goal, someone. 5 minutes left, and it's Sujimoto, baby. Ask and you shall receive. I called his phone, those Japanese numbers. They take a little bit longer to dial. He eventually picked up. He scores. Aguchi also gets the empty netter. There you go. We are 1-0 against Big Germ. The Japanese boys were here to play. Aguchi, Sujimoto, Hiroyuki. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points between the 3 of them. Just a casual night in the office. All right, so going into December here after the San Jose Sharks game, I would like to have a quick little look at the squad as we lose in overtime there. But let's see who's producing. Let's see if we need to move anything around. Sujimoto, just over a point per game. We have 35 points. Actually, it's not even good enough for best in the entire league. We're tied. We're tied for second. LA is 17-5, so there's some points around the NHL, that's for sure. Now, did I still see Arizona in last? Is that what I just saw? Did I see Arizona in last place? I did. They're 5-12 for 16 points. Oh boy. I didn't even realize they were 0-5 when I traded for that pick. Oh boy. All right, so Aguchi, Hiroyuki, and Sujimoto, we all know they're going to be top 3 no matter what. But look at Quinn Hughes. No goals, but 19 apples. All right, and look at Jake DeBoer as well. He's got 11 goals. So he is second on the team in Genos behind Aguchi with 15. Wow. Cole Perfetti with 18 points as well. Where's Chubbs? Look at Norm Clarkson, though. There you go, 16 points in 23 games. Where is Chubbs? He only has 5. Wow, okay, so he's slowing down a little bit. It's not like he's not trying. He does have 70 shots on net. Maybe, I don't know, something's just a little bit slower this year. It's all good, though. I'm not super worried about individual stats. We know guys like Mahalik and Bowen Byram, they're never going to put up big points, but they're always going to be plus players, and they're the guys that keep us in it. So, not really worried about points. Obviously, I want my top guys to produce, but I'm sure Chubbs is going to bounce back. Only 5 goals, a little bit concerning. 86 overall. He's dropped. He was 89 a couple of years ago, so that's interesting. All right, so I moved some stuff around the power play. Let's see if that's going to get Chubbs going. I moved him to the top line power play with Aguchi and Hiroyuki just to change it up a little bit, see if that sparks it up. We got a game on my birthday. There you go, against Ottawa. And do we have any slow sim games this month? I can see about the Arizona Coyotes on the 2nd. Adam Ernie for a first. Hello, what? We lose 7-4 there. That's a big yikes. But then we bounce back with a big old 5-1 win. All right, on my birthday, come on, get the GM a birthday W. December 5th, the best day of the entire year. Let's go ahead and get the GM a big old birthday win. How about it? First period, we're down by 1. Norm Clarkson gets 1 on Connor Hellebuck, but Forsberg and Brady Tkachuk, there you go. Period number 2. All right, still down by 1 going into the 3rd, and oh my God, what a wild 3rd period. We get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is a Sugimoto 3rd period hat trick. They get 2, but what a crazy 3rd period. Happy birthday to me, a nice little 5-goal 3rd period. Now, at the end of December, I want to have a look at a few things. I want to have a look around the entire NHL. I actually didn't even go in depth, really. I just kind of looked at our forwards. I didn't even check out how Russ Delmore was up to. But I want to check out the entire NHL stats. I want to see if Huxley is actually playing with Arizona, or are they just going to put him in the minors, even though they traded what could potentially be a lottery pick for him? Arizona, what are you doing? Thanks for the first, though. Appreciate it. 21, 6, and 3. Sorry, make that 22, 6, and 3. We're rolling. I mean, I know we're going to be a good team. Ooh, up against the LA Kings, they're one of those teams that's up there. I think they had more points than us, and they win in the shootout. Yikes. I know we're going to be a good team. I'm not worried about if we're going to be a playoff team or not. In a few years, we might have to worry about that. We could potentially use the R word in a couple years, but not right now because we are crushing teams 7-0. Take that, Montreal, up against the team that has 1 million first-line centers in the New Jersey Devils. It's a battle of the Titans, baby. Come on, very similar records. I'd love a W against Jack Hughes. The brothers going at it, and it's a 5-0 win, but then we lose 5-2. Quinn Hughes versus Jack Hughes. Do we have any more games against the Detroit Red Wings coming up? Because we need to leapfrog Nika Solani in points. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be next episode. We don't play them until late March, so that kind of sucks. I wish we played Detroit a little bit more. Oh, sorry, actually, we play him in January, so we do play him in this month. So maybe we can see if Aguchi is going to pass Nika Solani. So I guess I'll go all the way up until February 1st, and then we can talk about maybe what needs to be done. But let's go ahead here up against the Arizona Coyotes. They are 10, 20, and 7. All right, so Agency, I don't know what's going on, man. You're a proven winner, but something's happening right now. You need to turn this team around. Let's go. First period. All right, 1-0. Sugimoto, he scores a big goal. Period number 2. All right, 3-2. The big kid from Edmonton, he gets 1. No sign of Huxley yet. Going into the 3rd, can we hold off? Oh, wait, we're going into overtime. They tie it up at 4. Are we going to a shootout just for fun? Of course, I'll intervene it, but no, because Aguchi, he gets it done in overtime. You love to see every second of that. There you go. All right, so we have 56 points. Florida's got 53, so Florida could be a playoff team this year. Surprising. New Jersey has 55, and LA has 54, so we are technically the best team in the league. The Bruins actually have 25 points, so 25 and 28. The fact that that could be another lottery pick for our team is just not really even that fair, to be honest with you. That's crazy. Let's go ahead here, have a look at the boys, have a look around the NHL real quick, and then at the end of this month, after the Nika Solani game, I'll go ahead and do a complete check around every single person, go a little bit more in depth. But Hiroyuki, Sugimoto, Aguchi, we all know they're going to be a point per game player. Quinn Hughes, how are you, bud? He's got a point per game performance going on, 38 and 38. Jake DeBoer, oh man, has he earned the title of Jake DeScore yet? I think so. He is killing it, 30 points in 38 games. But the second line of Cole Perfetti, Chubbs, and Connor really struggling. I mean, they're on pace for like 65-ish points, but we're used to them being a point per game, which is a little bit weird. But you look at a guy like Norm Clarkson, he almost has as many points as Kyle Connor. But shout out to Norm Clarkson, all the guy does is freaking produce. What a beast. Adam Boquist, a little bit slow as well. I mean, slow, 24 points in 38 games for a defenseman is not bad at all. Just considering how much we're used to them producing, it's a little bit on the slow side. Same with guys like a Afinasenkov. I mean, for the third line, 12 points is a little bit weak. I'm not going to lie. Should I move like the big kid up and then move Afinasenkov down? I thought last year Afinasenkov did great. He really did. He had 40 points. Maybe just a sophomore slump? I don't know. Let's have a look at the tendies here. Have a look at Mr. Delmore. He's 23-5 with 6 shutouts. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, we made the right choice. Malcolm Subban, what's up, buddy? Let's also have a look at... oh no, Big Germ. Oh man, he's struggling. He's struggling big time. 13, 16, and 3. Now, I made this big spiel about how they needed to make a big move to be a competitive team again, but is it just their defense is bad? Because it looks like their offense is sick. I mean, they don't have anything super special on D, so maybe that's the problem. But wow, poor Big Germ. He's struggling. 13, 16, and 3. Yikes. Okay, so what I'm going to do for the last month of simulation here, we're going to get the Detroit game done, but I want to test something out here. We're going to put Kyle Connor with Clarkson and Afinasenkov. So we're going to put Clarkson with a legitimate NHL superstar. We're going to put up the young kid with Perfetti and Valerie Chubby Chubasov, and maybe Kyle Connor is going to get Afinasenkov going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down some points. We're going to see how many games the simulation is for this entire month and do a little bit of a test. Now, it's not like the guys are really struggling that much. They're still putting up decent points. Like 29 points in 34 games or whatever it is for Cole Perfetti isn't bad. It's not bad at all. I just want to see if we can maybe change a few things up here and there. So like I said, we're going to get this last month done. We're going to get the Detroit game done because I'm having a feeling something deep down says that Iguchi's going to have a big night and he's going to pass Nika Solani in the point department. He needs at least 3, but that means we have to either shut out the Detroit Red Wings, which is not easy, and we lose 9-6 against the Wings. What the hell? Or we have to keep him off the score sheet, which again is definitely not easy. So I'm looking for my 30th win before 10 losses. Can we do it? Come on, against the Bruins, against Braden Shen. They have a terrible record. Can you do it? There you go, 39-4. Is this our best start ever? I think this could be our best start. We've had a lot of pretty decent starts, but I don't remember seeing 30 wins before 10 regulation losses. The boys are buzzing. I actually didn't even realize we had back-to-back shutouts against Montreal and against the New Jersey Devils. So yeah, we're killing it right now. I mean, that one 9-6 loss was a little bit sketchy, but we're not going to talk about that. Let's go. The Detroit Red Wings. The Detroit Red Wings. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go, the Detroit Red Wings. There you go. They're in town. Nika Solani has a 3-point lead on Iguchi. It's time that we pass this stinky Nika Solani and we move on and we get the points lead here. Let's go. Period. Number 1. And it's 3-1. You hate to see it. Nika Solani and Mantha gets 2. Okay, Chubby gets 1. So we know for sure he's got 1 point. He probably has 3 at this point because when Mantha scores, you know Nika Solani is going to be on the score sheet as well. Not a great first. Lots of hockey left though. Period. Number 2. All right, we tied up. Quinn Hughes and Justin Falk. Couple of goals from our back end. Come on. Come on, Iguchi. Wouldn't mind Iguchi getting in on the score sheet here. Couple of goals just for fun. Kyle Connor on the third line. There you go. He gets the go-ahead goal. But Nika Solani, of course. And then Anthony Mantha, which is probably assisted from Nika Solani because they're ridiculous together. Come on, boys. 4 minutes left. Can you get one? Get one to push it into overtime? Oh, my God. I'm pretty sure Nika Solani probably had 5 points there. He killed it. And of course he had 5 points. Great. So he's now up to 39 points. Oh my God. And Iguchi, he had the measly 1 assist. So, all right, we dig ourselves a little bit of a hole here. Iguchi has 32 and Solani has 39. 9. But look at their record, 19, 20, and 7. They're probably going to be golfing where we are going to be very much in the postseason. Up against Florida, a team that's probably not going to be golfing, which is a little bit weird because usually they are not a playoff team. But we lose the one game and then we bounce back with a big win there. No, I don't want to trade a first for Noah Juleson. A big shootout win against Nashville. One more game against... We got a couple more games here. One against the Hawks. That's a 7-4 win. And then we got another Stanley Cup rematch. It looks like their window is definitely closed. 18, 27, and 3. They're probably not going to be a playoff team, let alone a Stanley Cup finalist once again. So their window is definitely over. Now let's talk about something with the Pittsburgh Penguins after this game. I have kind of an idea, but maybe it's a little bit too far-fetched. But let's go here. First period. It's 1-0. Boone Jenner on Malcolm Subban. Period number 2. All right, we get 2 in the second. Sugimoto and Jake to score. Going into the third, Jake DeBoer gets the GWG, or whoever it was. Who scored that goal first? Was it Jake DeBoer? No, it was actually Sugimoto. So Sugimoto gets the game-winning goal. Trying to give all the credit to the young kid. Now, one of my thoughts was, maybe it's a little bit crazy, a little bit far-fetched, was getting Sidney Crosby and or Evgeny Malkin out of Pittsburgh for one last Stanley Cup. I mean, I feel really bad because we crushed their dreams twice. We had them in the Stanley Cup final, and of course we beat them. They have a new wave of young guys, so they're looking to get rid of their older players. Like, where's Crosby even? There he is. So he's an 80 overall. He'll be just a third liner. Clapperton, what's up? I mean, even Evgeny Malkin, if we trade for Crosby, like... Oh, man, I don't know. He'd have to be a fourth liner. It's definitely like a one-time rental fourth liner. Where does he fit? We could basically get him for nothing, but then that means that we're going to have to trade like the big kid from Edmonton, or we'll have to trade someone, which I don't really want to do. However, it was just a thought that we could easily trade Fiddler for Crosby and a pick, which is crazy. But it could be done. It very well could be done. Or is there something bigger to this, where maybe we move out a guy like a Finisenkov, who seems to be struggling? However, we're going to have a look at his stats in a little bit because I wrote them all down. But what could we get? You know, does it make sense where we trade maybe a Finisenkov for just a second, and then we trade Crosby just to throw him in? Like, is something like that going to work? I don't know. It's maybe a little bit far-fetched, but getting Crosby another ring, obviously he's going to retire after this year. It's kind of just some food for thought. We have 74 points. I think we're best in the league. Yeah, Florida's right behind us with 71, but 57 points in 49 games. The boys are buzzing. So since we made those line changes, we have had 9 wins in our last 12 games. We lost twice in that entire month. Now let's compare the stats. Obviously, I wrote them all down when we made those line changes. So 12 games played. Let's see how many points the boys had. All right, so I've crunched the numbers, and it looks like the second line really produced in those 12 games. We got Jake DeBoer, JDB. He ended up having 10 points in 12 games, which is awesome. He's up to 40 and 49. He seems like the real deal. He's now up to an 85. All right, now Cole Perfetti, he had 11 points in 12 games, and Chubbs, he had 10 points in 12 games. 5 of those were goals, by the way, so that's pretty big. Now, if you go to the third line, Finisenkov had 3 points in 12 games, Norm Clarkson had 5 in 12, and then Kyle Connor, he had 9 in 12. So, I don't know. It's going to be up to you guys in the comments what we need to do, if anything. I know eventually Jake DeBoer is obviously going to have to be a second liner. There's no denying that. That's just going to have to happen. So something is going to have to be moved. Obviously, it's going to help us out because we're going to have that huge cap relief of either one of Kyle Connor, which is probably the obvious one to be moved, or Valerie Chubisov, which I don't want to move. I mean, there's just some few options. But after the first 49, almost 50 games of the regular season, we only have 2 players over a point per game, but it looks like we're more spread out. A lot of players are scoring here. It's not so much just our top 3 Japanese guys producing. It's really everyone really going on all cylinders here, which is great to see. So we have 3 We have 4 20 goal scorers. Chubbs is soon to make it 5. That's awesome. Anyone really struggling? I mean, aside from Afinasenkov, Anthony Sorelli, I mean, he is on the 4th line this year. Jesper Franzen has 11. Mahalik, he's killing it. Mr. 49 overall. The big kid from Edmonton, not doing that bad. He's got 17 points. His career high is 38. So he'll have to really step it up if he wants to even touch that. But I could move the big kid and Afinasenkov around. Is that something I can do? Or are you guys kind of wanting to trade Afinasenkov? Maybe get a Crosby in here just for fun? Let's make it fun here. Let's get Crosby his last ring. It's kind of going to be up to you guys though. As for goalies, Malcolm Subban 8-3 and Russ Delmore 27-7. Mount Rushmore, baby, how are ya? As for Big Germ 18-19, you just hate to see it. The poor guy is struggling. Samsonov, Vasilevsky, and Delmore top 3 in the league. Couple of studs there. As for rookie goalies, how's Isaac Robbins doing? We haven't been looking in on that, but it's a surprise player, Milan Kenko. He is 4th rounder in 2021. Okay, kind of came out of nowhere. He's almost a point per game. Isaac Robbins does have 4 more points than Jake DeBoer. However, it's going to be a very tight race for the Calder Trophy. We have a 3-way race here. We're only 4 points behind Isaac Robbins. If we want Jake DeBoer to, even get close to Kenko, we might have to play him on the second line for the rest of the year. So Isaac Robbins having a pretty good year. He's up to an 86 overall, so he's already listed as a second liner, where Jake DeBoer is listed as a third liner, but only 85. However, he does have more goals, but all right, it's going to be an interesting run here. Going to be an interesting time to compare these two guys. So we'll have to host in some games against the Sharks. I totally forgot about that, actually. As for entire points, who's leading the way? Oscar Gormley, of course, he's a goal per game, 73 points. Nicholas out of there from Anaheim, he's got 69. Nice. Kuhlman with his new team, he's not slowing down. For the first time in a long time, there's no Japanese guys, even in the top 10. Oh man, this is just weird. There he is. So Hiroyuki has 57 points. So you know what? At the end of the day, it all counts towards the Stanley Cup, and that's all we're really worried about here. And as of right now, I think we're probably the favorites to win it. 74 points. I want to do a couple of things. I want to have a look at where the Coyotes are. They have 34 points. The Bruins have 30. Now, before I check the draft class, I want to save, obviously, because last time we checked the draft class in the middle of a video, it froze, so I want to make sure I'm all good there. All right, so now let's have a look at the potential top pick that could be coming to your Saskatchewan Stags. Salvador Hoffman, what a name. All right, so he's playing over there in the O. He's well over a point per game. He's got 51 in 37, so he's another winger. We got Vincent Belanger, who is playing out of the Q, and he is almost a goal per game, actually. Damn, he's got 61 points in 39 games. And then we got a defenseman here, Philip Voracek, who looks like a nice little stay-at-home D. He's got 12 points in 30 games in a men's league there in the Extraliga. And then past that, you have guys out of the top 5 like Riviera, McMillan, Rodney Bilesma. So it looks like right now, if all things go according to plan, we're at least getting a top 5 pick, which is just ridiculous. Imagine adding a top 5 pick to this already insane team. Oh boy. But there's one last thing I want to talk about. I know I've been kind of dragging it on, but it's been a couple days. I've been thinking a lot about this team. What do we do, because Kyle Connor only has 1 year left on his deal? All right, he has 1 year left, and guess who's going to be taking his spot for next year? Yep, you guessed it. There he is. So, do we trade him right now? What is he going to want? He wants 5.8, which is totally manageable. I don't know. I'm going to leave it here. You guys are going to go crazy in the comments. I know every other episode we're just trading a player left and right, but with Stanley Cup champion teams, I mean, they don't stay together forever. I've said it once, I'll say it again. It's hard to keep a Stanley Cup team together, but we're lucky because we're not just getting rid of a player because we have to. We're getting rid of a player because we have players coming up like Russ Delmore, obviously like Jake DeBoer. So you guys can let me know. Crosby, thoughts? Kyle Connor, gone? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.